Hey, this is Crystal with the Hampton Group at People's Home Equity, and we're here today with one of our realtor partners, Shae Crawford. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Nashville market. There are a lot of people coming into Nashville from different places in the country, and things are very different here than elsewhere. So if I'm coming into Nashville, just moving in, what's it going to be like if I decide to buy a house?
So it is a very difficult market, but it's a great market. It's a seller's market right now. So a lot of the inventory that's out there, you've got so many people that are moving here, and they're moving from different areas. They're cash buyers, some of them moving from California, Virginia, and different places like that. So not only are you competing with those people, you're also competing with your first-time home buyers, and also people that are, maybe downsizing or even upgrading. And so you run into a situation of a multiple offer situation, and that can be a bit discouraging, a bit scary at times. But we want to make sure that we set the client up for those expectations when it comes to being in a multiple offer situation. So if you were coming to me, Crystal, and let's say, you wanted to put an offer on a particular home. So when you put that contract on that property, and let's say we were working with an area, let's say Donaldson.
Okay.
So Donaldson is a very hot area right now. There's so many people that are trying to get in that area because some of them may want to be in Mount Juliet, and so Donaldson and Hermitage is going to be the next closest city or area that they can be in that's close to Wilson County. And so when you put that contract on that particular property, you want to make sure that that client knows the expectations of being in a multiple offer situation. So let's say, Crystal, you were coming and we put the contract down, and we go for our, best offer. Let's say your offer is $200,000, and I'm just throwing these numbers out. Okay. But you put that contract in for $200,000. Well, if you've got 5 or 6 other people that are in that same price range, then you're going to want to make sure that you put your best foot forward. And so we want to make sure that we put an offer in that's going to be attractive to the seller. So we may have to change our closing dates. We might have to be flexible on that. We may not need to ask for anything from the seller, meaning closing costs or any other type of concessions that go along with that. And so we want to make sure that the contract is as clean as possible so that when that seller and that listing agent looks at that contract, they want to choose our offer.
Wow, that is great information, Shae. That really helps give a healthy expectation for buyers to know what we're dealing with in these kind of market conditions. So how important is it to know, to be knowledgeable as a buyer and to know exactly what you qualify for and to work with a real estate professional that knows exactly what's going on in the market and how to handle it, how to get me this house that I love and that I want?
Well, it's important to know the heartbeat of the cities and what areas are really hot. And so working with clients that I had, I'll give you an example. So we had some clients that were looking in the Donaldson and Hermitage area. And that's a great market right now. The houses are still very affordable. They're anywhere between $200,000 to $250,000. And that's a huge price point of where most people can afford right now. And so we put an offer on this particular property, and the property had 25 multiple offers.
Wow.
Yes. And so when you're working with a first-time home buyer and they hear that there's 25 offers and the listing price on that property went up by $25,000 of what was accepted on that property, that's a little bit of scariness. It's a little intimidating for a first-time home buyer. And so what I do, Crystal, which is very important to me, is to make sure that I communicate with that client and I let that client know how important it is as far as to make sure that we put our best foot forward. But if it's not the house for them, then there's so many other houses out there that we can also win an offer on. And so, not having them get completely emotionally attached to that particular property, but know that we may not get this one, but we will get the next one. and to just kind of set them up for reasonable expectations and not give them a false sense of hope of, you're going to win this particular property. But so just making sure that I'm, in direct communication with them and letting them know what's going on with the market.
Yeah, and that's so great to hear that that's your perspective, because we as people, we just get so emotional about houses and properties, and to have a realtor that helps ground you and helps give you that perspective and keep you in the game to win the house that ultimately will be your dream home is so important.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And another point, Crystal, that people need to keep in mind too, that when you're up against a multiple offer situation, it's great to also partner with your lender to have them even write a letter or even call that agent to help you win that offer. So if you are connected with that lender, they're going to be able to have a little bit of influence to call that listing agent and say, hey, this person is pre-qualified, they're pre-approved, their loan looks absolutely great. We, expect to have a smooth closing. And so that kind of helps that listing agent know that they're working with a credible mortgage company that is going to make sure that, that loan is going to go through solid. So that's always a great way to keep in mind, is to make sure that you're working with not only the lender, but also with the real estate agent as well. So
yeah, I think it's so important as a buyer to work with a team that has your best interest in mind, to work with, not just a realtor, a lender, but to work with realtors and lenders who have these great relationships and that flow well together and know how to jump in there and get it done and help you potentially win the bid, win a bidding war, and maybe end up with a house as beautiful as this listing we're sitting in tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is one of our listings over at Team Wilson Real Estate Partners. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,900 square feet, sitting on an acre land, guys.
Wow.
Right here in the heart of Mount Juliet. So if you guys are interested, make sure to let us know. We would love to be able to help you. If not with this house, we've got so many more listings, and I would love to just work with you, help you any way that I can, and also partner up with our incredible lending mortgage company. So, all right.
Well, awesome. Well, on behalf of the Hampton Group and Shae Crawford and Team Wilson, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you for having me too.